going to begin the third modeling project, the assembly fixture. I'm going to create a new file in Solidworks. My units are in millimeters. Come down to my unit systems, set it to millimeters. If it's in millimeters as per this assignment, I want to have 3 decimal places in my sketches. I go to my gear, my options, document properties, overall drafting standard, pull that down to ANSI, then I come over and I click on my dimensions. My primary precision, I want it to 3 places. Say OK. Okay, so to create this, the first thing I'm going to do is to create a rectangular sketch on the top plane and extrude it up 12 millimeters. So over in my Solidworks file, I'm going to sketch. I'm going to create a new sketch. I'm going to create this one on my top plane. I'm going to create my construction geometry. Create a vertical line with coincidence to origin. Right mouse click, end the chain. Create a horizontal line with coincidence to origin. End the chain. Now I'm going to begin drawing my rectangle. For this particular project, I'm going to use center rectangle. I create a center rectangle. I'm going to pick the origin, then I get a rubber banding rectangle. The up down and the left right will be symmetrical. So the up and down direction will be symmetrical automatically, and the left right will be symmetrical automatically. I have a length of 52.8 and a width of 21. So if I look at my coordinates next to my pencil, I see I have 56 by 23. That's close enough for now. Say OK. Go to Smart Dimension. Dimension this length here. Tell it that it's 21 millimeters. Then I'm going to dimension this length here, and that is to be 52.8 millimeters. That completes that sketch. I'm going to exit my sketch, go to my Features tab. I'm going to create an extruded boss. You can see that it's extruding upward. I want to create a boss that goes up 12 millimeters. I'm going to leave my end condition at blind and set my value to 12 millimeters and hit enter. Next, I'm going to make another rectangle. And it's not going to be this shape, it's just going to be just a rectangle. So I'm going to create another sketch. Go back to my sketch tab. I'm not going to edit the existing sketch, I'm going to create another sketch. It is going to be on this face, the top face of the part. I am going to create some construction geometry, vertical center line, and then I'm going to turn off for construction, and I'm going to draw half of my rectangle. Go to the midpoint of that edge. My full length will be 27.2. If I pull that over, 27 divided by 2 is 13, something like that. Just going to place that there. This length coming forward is 8.4 millimeters. It's gonna, okay, so it changed to an arc mode. I don't want that. If I hit the A button, I'll go back to align mode. As I pull down, you can see next to my pencil I have a line that is 8.7 long. That's close enough. Draw a horizontal line to my construction line. Go ahead and window that sketch. Actually, I need to go to mirror entities first. Window my sketch entities. Choose what I'm going to mirror about. Mirror it about that line. Click my OK. You can see that I have sketch symmetry. So I need to establish the width across here and the distance here. The width across is 27.2 millimeters. Go to Smart Dimension. Pick that sketch entity. 27.2 millimeters. Distance of this edge here is 8.4 millimeters. Pick that entity. 8.4 millimeters. You can see that that sketch is fully blackened, it's completely defined, and it's shaded. I'm going to exit that sketch. I'm going to create an island extruding upward. I go to Features. To create something, I use Extruded Boss. The sketch was already selected. You can see that it's moving in a single direction. I want that to go up 8 millimeters. Merge Results is turned on. I want this to merge with that when I create it. If I go to a hidden line view, you can see that that is one solid part. So now what am I going to do is cut away all of this shape. To do that, I'm going to start a sketch on the top face that will have this bottom profile here. I'm going to cut downward and just remove all that material. I'm going to go back to a shaded mode. I'm going to go to Sketch tab, create another sketch, place it on that top face. I'm going to go ahead and create some vertical construction geometry coincident with my origin. Now I'm going to draw the shape of this pocket. It wants to be 3.6 millimeters from the back edge of the part to this edge here. I'm just going to eyeball it for now. I'm getting coincidence to my vertical construction geometry. And I'm just going to eyeball this shape in. And I'm just going to let that sketch be completed at that. I'm going to hit Mirror Entities, mirror my sketch about that center line right there. You can see that my sketch is shaded, it's fully closed, but I still have blue entities. So now I need to begin to dimension the sketch. I have a dimension here, 3.6 TYP, which means typical. This land, that land, and that land all want to be 3.6 millimeters wide. I'm going to go to Smart Dimension, pick the back edge of my solid, and pick that blue sketch entity, and say 3.6 millimeters. I'm going to do the same thing from this edge to this sketch line. 3.6 millimeters. You can see that the same sketch entity on the other side is also defined because I have symmetry from creating my sketch about center. The width of this slot overall is 35.8 millimeters. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this line here, tell it to be 35.8 millimeters long. From the back edge of the part to this edge in this part right here is 12.4 millimeters. I go ahead and create a dimension from my back edge to this blue line right here and make that 12.4 millimeters. You can see at that point that the sketch is fully defined. So now what I'm going to do is use that sketch, exit the sketch, go to my Features tab. I want to cut away now. So I'm going to use an extruded cut. Pick on that. My sketch begins to extrude downward. The distance from the top to this face is 8 millimeters. The distance from the same face down to this face is 3.7. I can go ahead and do that math right in the field. 8 plus 3.7 gives me a final result of 11.7 millimeters. Click the green check, and that entire section gets cut away. That completes this actual part. I'm going to go File, Save As. I'm going to inherit the name from something else, and this is Model 3. So Modeling 3, Metzinger M, Rev 1, 0330, 2019. Save that file. Going to hover over the part, right mouse click, go to my Appearances pull down, go to Modeling, and make it look something like what's in the drawing. You want to begin to get in the habit of making all your models different colors so that when you bring them into an assembly, there'll be a way to differentiate things. Let's make sure that's saved, and that completes the third modeling assignment.